Hey ladies and gents, welcome back to Miss Raga's Art Room. Okay, so we've made our 1-inch grid. All right, what do we do now? Well, there are two choices that you can do for your extra drawing, your bonus drawing, your above and beyond art drawing, however you like to think about it. So your first choice is to do a photo enlargement. Let me grab my snail example I've been working on for a little bit here. Okay, I have 5 different categories of photos: animals, nature, sports, transportation, landmarks, okay, like famous places. We can always get you a custom photo too. But what you're doing is you're taking the photograph. As you can see, it's been pre-gridded here, okay, for you. Guess what? This grid matches this grid exactly. Same number of squares, right? We're just literally creating an image that's twice the size, like a photo blow up, okay? And you use the grid as a guide for following your drawing. So for example, let me pick up where I am on the shell here. Let me go to my next door square. So if I count, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 up, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 in. Okay, so 9 in and 9 up. There I am. Okay, so I am matching this exact square to this exact square. And what I'm going to do is use the grid as a guide, right? I'm not worried about the whole snail. I'm worried about the pieces of it. And you may have done one of these with Miss DiGiochino, okay, or possibly with Miss D'Angelo, or another teacher in 6th or 7th grade. Okay, and I'm just following what I see as the stripe in the shell. You can start with just basic contour. You can start with fully shading. It's completely up to you. I've had students tackle this both ways. But what it is just excellent drawing practice. All right, so what I'm gonna do now is some shading work. And I'm following along with where I am in my photograph to see what's dark value, what's light value. And again, I'm not focusing on the whole snail. What the grid helps me do is break down this snail into simpler parts. There we are, and this has some little shading bits there too. And the grid also kind of helps me keep track of where I've left off, where I've been, where I need to pick up again. And I'm just looking at dark, middle, and light value. Think back to our mosaic portrait project, right? And how we broke down those shadows into value shape. You can grab any smudging tools you need from me, right? Kneaded erasers, regular erasers, okay, blending stumps. I like Q-tips for blending a lot. Okay, I think they work really well. Okay, and we are taking this photograph and enlarging it. That's option 1 for your extra credit. Let's look at option 2. Maybe you are not, I don't want to say you're not a drawer, because it's still drawing, right? But maybe you don't want to do a formal drawing that's super realistic. Maybe you want to do something more designing. My second option for you is a kind of graffiti pattern project. So let me grab my sample. All right. So for your second choice, ladies and gents, you have this graffiti pattern project. And what you're going to do, okay, is hide drawn shapes into this graffiti pattern, okay? And then you're gonna make them reappear again with color. So let's take a look at how to do this. Let me grab a working sample. So here's a larger sample that I have. And what you can see is that I've taken this inch by inch grid, okay, and I've hidden a drawing over top of it. Now, where the drawing overlaps, you can see it creates new and interesting shapes. Okay? And when you fill these new and interesting shapes with lots of intense pattern, you start to lose them a little bit. You can't see the design as well anymore. Okay? And then what we're going to end up doing is making that design reappear using the color. So, I've got pattern books to help with this, because sometimes it's hard to invent patterns in your head. Okay, but of course you can make up any pattern you want. I've got lots of these little design squares to help you with it. Okay, but first things first, draw what you want hidden in the grid. It can be truly anything, right? On my smaller version of it, it was just shapes and my initials. Ooh, sorry, ladies and gents. And my initials in bubble letters. Right, so my initials, BRB. Okay, these little shapes, right? That was all I did, something very simple. This, much more complex. I'm hiding an actual like image in there. Okay, so let me do some pattern work in this wheel and then let's make this wheel pop out. So I'm gonna grab a Sharpie. Okay, no need, ladies and gentlemen, to draw your pattern out first in pencil. You can work directly in the Sharpie if you would like. You can draw it out in pattern first. And yes, you may repeat patterns, but two of the same pattern shouldn't touch. And you may have some squares that are filled in totally solid. Sometimes you need that for like some of these wacky or smaller shapes that you may happen to have, okay? So let's say I want to repeat a pattern. I love this kind of like polka dot one. So let's say I want to repeat it over here. I could. And I've heard this called lots of different things. I've heard this called Zentangle. I've heard this called pattern drawing, whatever you like to call it, right? We're just filling in these squares with tons of elaborate pattern. Okay, do a little bit more here. All right, so there's one. Let's pick a different one. Maybe I need to consult my table book. Let's see if there's another one that kind of strikes. Ooh, my fancy. I like that. The peaks border. That's kind of cool looking. All right. And remember, you can always do a variation on it too. It doesn't have to be the exact same pattern. Okay, so let's get some of those stripes in there. And it looks like there's a kind of a triangle thing happening within it. Right, it can be kind of an inspired by one. And now there's this line and a dot. Cool. This line and a dot. This line and a dot. And then it looks like the top section is filled in. And the bottom section gets kind of like a little extra stripe to it. And one thing you'll notice is it gets real complex real fast. Let's do this one into like a checkerboard. And it's just doodling. It's free drawing. Don't overthink this, ladies and gentlemen. As long as you keep in mind that wherever a new shape appears, a new pattern happens, and that two of the same pattern can't touch, it'll work out. I also, too, to guide you on either of these, whether you choose the kind of more realistic photo drawing one, the photo enlargement, or the graffiti hidden drawing, I have paper guide sheets with directions on them for you as well. Okay, so please don't feel like you have to watch this video once and get it. If you need a paper guide sheet, please come see me. And also, I can always help you with any directions or questions you may have about it in class as well. That's what I'm here for, right? The video guide's just kind of supposed to be a little extra support to get you going. So please feel free to come to me with any questions. Okay, let's, in this one, I think I'm gonna do some curly, kind of thick to thin, swavy lines. I like doing some of those curl lines. Okay, and then, you know, this kind of awkward tiny piece, this might be one where I would just take my Sharpie and do a fill-in. Okay, cool. That wheel is looking pretty complete. All right, let's make it pop out again. Okay, so I've lost this wheel, but now what I'm going to do is make it, oh, ladies and gents, I've gone blurry, I realize. Sorry, let me pause the video for a moment. Ooh, hopefully that's in better focus for you now. Sorry about that. Okay, so once again, let's now take this wheel and make it appear like this one. So you can see how quickly it gets like totally lost in the background. So I'm gonna grab some of my colored pencils now and let's make it reappear. Okay, so on my other wheel, I did kind of like an orange with red over top of it. And what you'll notice with the colored pencil is it just kind of tints the marker work. It doesn't like eliminate it. And why that's neat is it helps the original shape pop out, but it doesn't obscure all the cool pattern work beneath. It looks really cool. I love how this looks. Okay, and so it kind of goes to a little bit darker red on the outside, or at least that's what it looks like I did on the other, so I'm gonna do that. Layer in a little bit of colored pencil over top. A little blend. Do you see what I mean, where I can still see the other color beneath it? And this looks so cool once the color's finished. Okay, maybe a little bit more orange. And I'm gonna fill in with my yellow in the center. Let me give that a quick sharpen. There we go, a little sharpen there. And now let's make the side of the wheel appear. And a little bit more orange, maybe over top of this section. Right, so you can do complex color too. It doesn't have to be flat. Go ahead and use that value even within it. Okay, so in the center of this wheel here, yeah, let's go with the heavy red so that we can see it as the center. That looks like it's mostly orange on the side. Okay, and you can see that wheel of my skateboard start to appear again. All right, so once again, you're filling your whole drawing with this really cool, really rich, really dense pattern, okay, to hide your drawing, and then you're making that drawing reappear with color after the fact. Okay, and you can see how I did that on the hand. All right, ladies and gents, thanks for watching. So these are our 2 extra credits for the year, right? Your graffiti pattern drawing or your photo enlargement. Okay, come second semester, I'll introduce 2 more to you that you could have as an extra bonus or above and beyond drawing. All right, thanks for watching, ladies and gents. Take care. Bye-bye.